A very good morning, dear children of class 10th. Children, today we will be doing our next topic of grammar, that is gap filling. Gap filling, simply we call it fill ups, right? Doing fill ups. It means we will be given a certain gap between the words in a sentence and we need to complete it. And the best part about this topic is that you will be given options as well. I mean, you will be given four options, and you are all free to select any one of them after due consideration that the one you have selected is appropriate, right? So the options may be closer to each other, right? So they may look similar, a bit similar, but you need to choose the most appropriate one. So children, see, this topic is also a sort of tester. Means this topic has been introduced in your syllabus in order to test the skills of students, that if they can really select the appropriate option or not, right? So the options, most of the options would be the various forms of verb. So they may be different articles, that is, they may test that if we should apply article a, an, or the in a particular fill up, right? They may ask us by giving different conjunctions and, but, as, etc., and we have to select any one of them, right? So they may give us certain forms like wear, wears, wore, wearing, etc., as these are given in option number 4 as well, right? So different kind of conjunctions, different prepositions, different various forms of verbs can be given to us, right? So we need to select the most appropriate one, right? So in this topic also, students, the previous videos which are uploaded on YouTube, the previous videos of tense would help you a lot. Means, first of all, you need to study that video, you need to watch that video properly. Only then afterwards, yeah, like, you would be able to understand the topics like gap filling, editing, omissions, etc., right? So starting with the exercise, so I have solved the first one for you, and will be right now will be doing some other exercises which are unsolved, and you may get a chance to test yourself also, right? So starting with the first one, see children, we are given a very short paragraph, a paragraph consisting of just 2 to 3 lines, right? And four options are given for every fill up. Fill-ups are tagged like A, B, C, D and E. Total 5 fill-ups are there, and for each fill-up, for filling up of each blank, we are given 4 options and we need to select the most appropriate one, right? So, reading the passage. Yesterday, a rich woman from West Bengal dashed to Delhi to buy jewelry. She was sitting outside Dash jewelry shop. Suddenly, two young boys came there. Dash snatched the chain that she was Dash. She called the police. Dash, the snatchers had run away. See. So different kinds of sentences are given and a variety of skills would be tested in this particular paragraph. How? Yesterday, I have selected a young woman from West Bengal. See the options. Which option suits the most? Yesterday, rich woman from West Bengal come to Delhi? No. Come cannot be applied as yesterday is written, right? Come means we are talking of present. Comes to Delhi? No. Comes also is considered to be present. Came to Delhi is the correct answer, and I would explain coming to Delhi would also not be an appropriate option. See, a rich woman from West Bengal coming to Delhi to buy jewelry, that makes no sense at all, right? So, in order to frame an appropriate sentence, we may fill the option which suits it the best. Yesterday, a rich woman from West Bengal came to Delhi to buy jewelry. Came means she came yesterday, right? So she came yesterday, that's the talk of past, that's the thing of past. That's why we have used the option came, that is third option, right? Second sentence, she was sitting outside a jewelry shop. So that's very much clear, children. So it must be the fact that because she had come to buy jewelry from Delhi, so she must be sitting outside a jewelry shop. We should not apply an, the, or some, right? A is the most appropriate option to be filled here. She was sitting outside a jewelry shop. Next line. Suddenly, two young boys came there and snatched the chain. You know, suddenly two young boys came there or snatched the chain. No sense. Suddenly two young boys came there but snatched the chain. Again, there is no sense. Suddenly two young boys came there. How snatched the chain? There is no sense at all. So the only word which can make this sentence meaningful is and. Suddenly two young boys came there and snatched the chain. Means two actions were done. Two young boys came there and snatched the chain she was wearing. Why wearing? See if any other option suits here. Snatched the chain she was wear. No sense of sentence is made. She was, again wear is there. She was wore. We cannot apply that one also. Wear, wore, worn, second form with was, we cannot do that. So when the writer is talking in past continuous tense, so we have to use was or were plus verb's first form and ing here. So that she was wearing means which chain they snatched. Two young boys snatched the chain that the lady was wearing at that time, was wearing, right? She called the police dash the snatchers had run away. See the options. She called the police, so the snatchers had run away. So conjunction is not at all suitable for this sentence, right? The two sentences are opposite. Means she called the police in order to resolve the matter. The snatchers had run away. It means the solution cannot be done at all because the snatchers had already left the place, right? So she called the police because the snatchers had run away. No, there is no logic of calling the police when the snatchers had left the place, right? She called the police only the snatchers had run away. Again a wrong option, right? Only the snatchers had run away. No sense is there in the sentence. So the only word which makes sense here is but, right? She called the police but the snatchers had run away, right? So all the blanks have been already filled. So you may tally, right? So next passages we would do, you have to fill the blanks by yourself. I will just explain, right? So the second one, see the passage. A bit difficult from the previous passage, but not that much. You will be able to do it easily once you read it, right? So reading the passage, see. A great part of Arabia dash a desert. A great part of Arabia was a desert? No, it's still a desert. We all know that it's still a desert. So, a great part of Arabia was a desert? Wrong answer. A great part of Arabia has a desert? Again a wrong answer. And a great part of Arabia had a desert? Again that would be a wrong option to select. So the only option that seems the most appropriate one is second one, right? So a great part of Arabia is a desert because it's still a desert. It has not changed into anything else. So is will come here. A great part of Arabia is a desert. Next is the sand dash so hot. The sand was so hot. No, because the sand is still hot, right? The sand were so hot. No, we cannot apply. The sand are so hot. No, sand are we cannot apply. The only option remains as the sand is. Option number 1. The sand is so hot that you dash walk over. That the sand is so hot that you couldn't walk over. You must not walk over. You shouldn't walk over, and you wouldn't walk over. Children, we have to check the intensity of the problem. Here the writer is saying the sand is so hot. So means very hot. It's extremely hot that you must not. Must means we should not do it in any case. Means under any circumstances. A kind of severe should not. Right? So severe should not is appropriately written as must not. The sand is so hot that you must not walk over it. Very simple. You must not walk over that. You must not walk over this. You must not walk these. No, the only option left is the sand is so hot that you must not walk over it with your bare feet in the daytime. So what the writer is suggesting, he is telling us that the sand is very hot and you must not walk over it with your bare feet, and that too in the daytime, right? So during night you can dash it pleasant. You can observe it pleasant. No. You can touch it pleasant. Again a no. You can express it pleasant. That's also a wrong option. So what we can fill here? During night you can feel it pleasant. Pleasant is like saying something is pleasant as having a feeling. You can feel it pleasant, right? So I repeat all the answers. A great part of Arabia is a desert. The sand is so hot that you must not walk over it with your bare feet in the daytime. During night, you can feel it pleasant. Right? So I hope this paragraph is clear to all of you. Let's move to another example. So read it for a while. See, if you read the passage, you would clearly come to know that the passage has been taken from history, right? And if it has been taken from history, it must be in past tense, right? As I dropped you a hint, if some story has been told, that should be in past tense. If an event of history has been taken up, that should also be in past tense, right? If someone is narrating an incident to us, the things should be in past tense. So, see, the passage is about a ruler whose name is Kanishk, right? So, he is one of the most famous ones. You may have heard the name. See what's said about him. Kanishk, the ruler of Kushans, embraced Buddhism. We all know that Kanishk, ruler of Kushans, he had embraced Buddhism, right? So, he invited to a Buddhist meeting. Now, children, can we feel he is invited to a Buddhist meeting? We cannot write because he is not at all alive and the incident is also not of present. So, he had invited to a Buddhist meeting. That doesn't make any sense at all. He has invited to a Buddhist meeting. Again, a wrong answer. So, the appropriate option is he was invited to a Buddhist meeting. It means he was invited means somebody invited him, right? See what happens further. He was invited to a Buddhist meeting Kashmir during his reign, right? During his period of rule means. Reign means during his period of rule. He was invited to a Buddhist meeting at Kashmir. No, Kashmir is a big place. He was invited to a Buddhist meeting of Kashmir. No, the meeting cannot be said of Kashmir. He was invited to a Buddhist meeting on Kashmir. Not at all. So the option remains as in. He was invited to a Buddhist meeting in Kashmir during his reign. Right? Next is, it was during his time that Buddhism dashed to Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Java. See, a very good symmetry, very simple symmetry is there. It was during his time that. During his time means it was during the time of Kanishk. It was during Kanishk's time that Buddhism spreads. We cannot say spreads means something is happening in the present tense. Spreading, there is no helping verb. Buddhism spreading to? No. Buddhism is spread to? Again a wrong option. The only option remains as it was during his time that Buddhism spread to Sri Lanka. Buddhism spread to Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Java. So, try to form a line. It was during his time that Buddhism spread to Sri Lanka, Myanmar or Java? No. Sri Lanka, Myanmar, but Java? No. Sri Lanka, Myanmar, yet Java? That's also a wrong utterance. So the appropriate answer is, during his time, Buddhism spread to Sri Lanka, Myanmar and Java. Since these are the names of places, Sri Lanka, Myanmar and Java, so 3 places are given. After first place Sri Lanka, a comma is there. See the punctuation marks very carefully. A comma is there, right? Then Myanmar and Java, right? 3 places are there. That's why and will be added. Buddhism dash a peace-loving religion. Buddhism was a peace-loving religion. Can we say it? No. Buddhism next is, will be a peace-loving religion? Not at all. We cannot say that. Buddhism would be, again not an option. Buddhism is a peace-loving religion, right? Buddhism is a peace-loving religion, as simple as that. It means Buddhism as a religion is still a peace-loving one, right? Buddhist people are peace-loving. This religion teaches the people to live in peace and harmony, right? So that's why it is eternal. The statement would be written in present tense. Buddhism is a peace-loving religion. We cannot write was a peace-loving religion, because the religion also exists in present day, right? So I hope this paragraph is also clear to you. Let's move to the next one. So the next one is, I would say, very interesting stanza. So that is like, most Indian schools fail to ensure their students adequate playtime and fitness regime, right? So that's very clear that the paragraph is written in present tense. It means when first form of verb is used, so when they are talking of a present situation, right? So that is written in present tense. 2 out of every 5 school going children dash have a healthy body mass index, that's in short called BMI. 2 out of every 5. It means less than 50% students, right? 2 out of every 5. It means only 3 are healthy. 2 out of every 5 school going children, we need to select an appropriate option C. 2 out of every 5 school going children does have a healthy body? No. Does not have a healthy body? No. Do have a healthy body? So we will see this option, and don't have a healthy body. We need to select. See children, we need to take a full reading of the paragraph and decide 2 out of every 5 school going children, we would write don't have a healthy body mass index. 2 out of every 5 school going children, right? School going children don't have a healthy body mass index, right? Why don't and why not does not? Because students, children is plural, right? When plural is given, so we would write don't, right? With plural we write do, they do. We often say, we never say they does, We say they do. So children are more in number. Children term is plural. So that's why we will write 2 out of every 5 school going children don't have, right? Don't have a healthy body mass index, and 50% of children dash adequate lower body strength, right? So what is pointed out here, that 50% means half of the children, right, lagged. No, but a present situation is talked about. Past tense cannot be fit here. Have lagged. No, no testing has been done. Had lagged, again we cannot use past tense. So what we will write here, 50% of children lack, LACK, first option, 50% of children lack adequate lower body strength, right? Lack. Because children are plural, again we would use lack, right? Some schools dash found to offer 3 or more physical education periods per week. You know, some schools dash found to offer. See option, select. Some schools was found. No, schools are plural, so was cannot be here. Some schools is found. No, we cannot write is. Schools have found. No, schools are not finding anything. In fact, it has been found by someone. So what we will write, some schools are found to offer, right? Some schools are found means somebody has made this research and found that schools give 3 or more physical education periods per week. Means as you have 6 club periods per week, right? So it is given here that some of the schools offer 3 or 4 periods, 3 or 4 club periods per week, right? Next is, the students dash exhausted dash summers. The students dash will get exhausted. No, we are not talking of future tense. The students got exhausted. No, we are not talking of past tense. The students gets exhausted. No, students is plural, so gets cannot be here. The only option left with us is get, G-E-T. The students get exhausted dash summers. The students get exhausted in summers. No. Of summers? No. After summers? Not at all. During summers. The students get exhausted during summers, right? I would repeat it. Most Indian schools fail to ensure their students adequate playtime and fitness regime. 2 out of every 5 school going children don't have a healthy body mass index, and 50% of children lack adequate lower body strength. Some schools are found to offer 3 or more physical education periods per week, right? The students get exhausted during summers. Means in summers it's really difficult to make a playtime outside and have that physical education period, right? The students get exhausted during summers. So I hope that's clear to all of you. One more passage I would like to discuss with you, that's also quite interesting. So see, that is, dash agricultural scientists have dash to realize that chemical pesticides are not necessary. See children, as per my reading of first line, I feel that the paragraph is about majority of the people, because it is said that realize, right? Realize means come to the realization, so they get this knowledge, right? The tragedy is dash, this recognition has come much late, right? As I told you, recognize something to get knowledge of something, right? Pesticides have already dash our lands. Pesticides dash ruined the land, right? We have to fill appropriate options. I strongly suggest you to pause this video, fill these options on your notebook, write down these sentences and fill appropriate options on your notebook, and then continue this video and see the answers, match the answers. See, I am providing you with the answers. What will we write here? See, dash scientists. What we will write? Few scientists, few means 0. any scientist? The few scientists? No. When scientists is written, it means many. We are talking about several people. We are talking about many people. What we will write? Many agricultural scientists have. Many. Right? First blank. Many agricultural scientists have. What we will write now? Have begin to realize, have been beginning to realize, have begun to realize, and begins to realize. Now it's plural. So what we would write here with have, children, I told you during our session of tense, right? So what we should use when has or have is there and we are appropriately offered verbs third form, then that should be used. Many agricultural scientists have begun to realize. With has or have or had, verbs third form is used always. Many agricultural scientists have begun to realize, right? Begun is the begun, begun is the third form. Realize that chemical pesticides are not necessary. It means they have got the knowledge now that chemical pesticides are not necessary for the land. Next is the tragedy is, what will come here? The tragedy is this recognition? No. The tragedy is these? No. The tragedy is those? Not at all. What will come here? The tragedy is that this recognition has come much late. The tragedy is that. Sentence connector that will come here. This recognition has come much late. Pesticides have already. See children, have is there. Helping verb have is there. Pesticides have already. Poisoning our lands. Poison our lands. Poisons our lands. No. When has or have is there, we need to use third form of verb and third form is poisoned. Pesticides have already poisoned our lands. Right? Pesticides dash ruined the land. Pesticides, what will come? Will ruined the land. Will plus verbs third form and nothing else supporting. That is no chance. Pesticides would ruined the land. No. Pesticides had ruined the land. Right? No. So what we are talking of the scenario which has just happened. Pesticides have ruined the land. Have. Right? So I would repeat the passage for you. Many agricultural scientists have begun to realize that chemical pesticides are not necessary. The tragedy is that this recognition has come much late. It means the writer is saying that the sad thing about this realization is that it has come much later to those scientists. The pesticides have already poisoned our lands. It means pesticides have already poisoned our lands, almost destroyed our lands. Pesticides have ruined the land. Right? So I hope all the passages are clear to you. Do more practice. I'll be sending you many more exercises so that you can do practice on your own. And please leave your queries in the comment section. If you have any, I'll be happy to take that. Thank you. Take care.